Welcome to MSP Unplugged Tech Talk Tuesday. Don't adjust your shats or your podcast, your sound. Yes, it is Rick Smith coming to you live instead of Paco, who is out in Vegas at the Channel Futures Forum. My guest today with me is filling in for Paco is Kramer Snuggs of Cascade Tech. How you doing, Kramer?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks so much for filling in for Paco and being around, helping us out here with the community. Before we get started with Kramer today and our Tech Talk Tuesday talk, I want to remind everyone that our TechCon Unplugged is coming up, fastly approaching. September's right around the corner. It's September 16th to the 18th at the Rosemont Hilton Hotel in Chicago, Illinois. We are looking forward to everyone being there. TechCon has been running now. This will be our 6th year. And we're just looking forward to having everyone there. So get your tickets are available still at techconunplugged.com. All right. I'm not as smooth as Paco is with this because this is usually his job, but we'll just keep it going. Kramer, again, thanks so much for being here today.
Yep.
I know you are the president, CEO of Cascade, but I understand you also are taking on a new role with us here.
I have. So, Cascade's still thriving, doing the thing. But yeah, since COVID really hit, I relocated to Charlotte and have been in a very remote role with Cascade. A new opportunity has come up with a company, SimSpace. It's a cybersecurity range, and I am now a senior product manager for SimSpace. So yeah, it's been a very the company is growing rapidly. There's a lot of knowledge to gain to kind of get on board, and so I've been drinking from the fire hose for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's going good.
Okay. Now, what exactly? I understand what you're saying. What exactly will you be doing?
So I am working on the cloud. I'm working as basically a cloud and commercial product manager. So we're building out the platform, designing the platform, I guess tweaking the platform to fit the MSP, MSSP model. That's the industry that we are looking to tackle. So, real quick, I guess a cybersecurity range. I didn't even know what a cybersecurity range was. I'm not sure if you're even familiar with it. But
I'm not familiar with it at all.
It's basically it's a couple of things. So the range itself allows us to build a replica of our network, our client's network, infrastructure, whatever that may be. As close to production environment as possible within VMs. And from there, we're able to run live events like red team versus blue team, capture the flag. So we're doing these cybersecurity exercises within a replica of our actual network. It's not, I like to say it's not necessarily a training platform. But as a business owner, it's the ability to find the confidence in your employees that in the event of an attack, they would know how to handle that the infrastructure is secure enough for an attack, and that they would know how to handle it. So we get to do these we do these live events, like I said, the red team versus blue team, capture the flag. We've also got this content built out. So the JLog 4, for instance, when that came out, right now, I am personally going through several courses that allow me to either from an offensive or a defensive stance better understand how to better protect our clients against that vulnerability. So it's very extensive. It's been more deployed to the government, I guess, and like the military. But yeah, it's time that we hit the market because we see a strong niche in the MSP and MSSP industry.
Okay, that sounds really cool, and I guess it's definitely very important for us to know how, it's always easy to say on paper this is what will happen or this is what we'll do, but it's a big difference to know how you actually will respond when when the excuse me, quote unquote, crap hits the fan.
Absolutely. Like one of my signature lines that I always say in the channel and all the podcasts I'm on is, our job is 70% preventing a cyber attack and 30% knowing what to do in the event of a cyber attack.
Right.
And so I'm honored to now get the ability to help build out the educational side of that 30%. What do we do in the event of a cyber attack?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I was thinking about this the other day. In the 20 plus years I've been in the industry, the 19 I've owned my business, I have never had a client, and I'll say this knocking wood, who's been compromised, right? So it's very, and I always say, okay, I've read through all of these papers on what we should do. I have the steps that we're going to follow here or enact this in case something happens. Yeah. But I've responded to two. Now, the situation is these are people who call me after the fact. Now, really, there's not much I can do. Mm-hmm. The first time I didn't realize, hey, I shouldn't do anything until, the insurance company wants to know if they want to, if they want to forensics or figure out what was going on. The second time I was aware of that, but I've never had to experience it from, I guess, watching it happen and then having to respond, knowing it happened, and having to respond. And it's particularly as my client. Yeah. So, I guess if you can gamify something like that just to get a sense, I think that's an awesome thing because it's definite. I guess it's close to on the job training or on the spot training that you're going to need.
Yeah. And that word that you used, that like the gamification. So I tend, like when I'm at least looking at SimSpace, I tend to stay away from the word gamification just because we are building out a replica. I at least don't want to perceive it as like a gaming platform or, because it is, you're building out a replica of the environment. Now, a lot of the competitors, it would be a gamification platform. You're not necessarily diving as deep. You don't have as many of the features that we've got in the range. But I get what you're saying. Yes, I mean, to be able to simulate and experience that attack on something that so well, it hits home. And unfortunately for me, I have been on the tail end of a breach, a ransomware attack, a phishing attack. I've dealt with a bunch of them, and it is scarier than you can probably assume in the moment. Just last year we had a huge client that did get hit with a ransomware attack, and it's literally, you feel like you're on, like you're at the core of it. As the MSP provider, you're at ground zero of something like that, and time is of the essence. It's a very scary situation. Now, with that being said, and I'm going to knock on wood, I have never been involved in any type of ransomware case, whether I was called in after the fact or it was an active client, where we were unable to recover the data or the money or, get them back up and running. So we've been extremely successful with the attacks that we have done. And I'll give credit to that aspect of it to Acronis. Because in the event of all of those attacks that I'm referencing, we've had good solid backups. Those backups have been scanned. It's been a very reliable solution when it comes to that. So, but yeah, unfortunately, I have been on the other end of that, and hopefully not again, but I'm sure it'll happen again.
Well, let's hope not for all our sakes, but I know it's a scary thing, and wow. And I remember actually meeting you at TechCon last year, and you were telling the story, And it was like, I was like, wow, this guy was real calm about all this. And I was like,
Yeah.
And I just remember like, wow, I probably have a couple of stains in my shorts.
No, I agree. And that was actually like weeks, within just like maybe 2 weeks of that attack actually taking place, the one that I was referencing. So that was, I was probably still like letting it, I probably hadn't even like really realized what all had happened over the last month, just because we were still, you know, doing a little bit of cleanup and stuff like that. But, you know, at the same time, we all have to remember that we're doing the best that we can. You know, we're not the bad guys. We're not in the bad guy seat. You know, we're the ones that are supposed to be the, you know, the saviors in the situation. And so, you know, the most we can do is the best that we can. And, you know, fortunately for me, it's paid off. So,
Right.
When I say paid off, I mean that we haven't lost data or lost a bunch of money. That's what I meant when it said paid off.
Right. I got you. And I mean, it also, it comes down to having the right processes in place, the right tools in place, the right process. And you know, Paco and I have been talking, you know, for the past couple of weeks about business in general and setting things up. And, you know, I'm not going to say every tool is the same, but they all serve similar purposes, right? And how you set up your stack and how how you protect your clients with the tools is one thing, but what you do with those tools, because the tools are only going to take you but so far. Then it becomes, you know, you. And you know, so this is where, you know, we have been, you know, I've really been trying to hone in on, you know, taking, you know, we always take a proactive approach, but being prepared, understanding, making my clients understand that, hey, all of these tools we're giving you to do this, you know, that I'm putting on your system, they're tools, you know, and you know, like everything else, that there's, you know, technology, there's a way around sometimes. There, you know, things happen, and we have to be prepared to, in the end, I hate to say it's inevitable that you're going to get breached, but I have to look at it that way. That's the way I explain it to the clients. And so I think the bigger, like you say, the bigger responsibility there is, you know, making sure when it all goes down, you can get it back. You can get them up. And you got to, you know, the other part of that is you got to get them up, you know, quick. You got to get them up so they can go back to business, because productivity is lost big time when you know, when they have to wait on us to get everything right.
Yeah. And that's a huge point. I mean, the last cyber attack we dealt with, the one that we were talking about in Chicago, customer had 4 hours of downtime from a full-blown ransomware attack that, you know, had spread throughout the network. So that was like a win in our book, you know, that despite that files were still there, despite everything still remaining in place and being able to recover what we needed to, they were back up and running the next morning at 8 a.m. Now, granted, you know, my team and I were out there until 9:30 in the morning the next day, but at 8 a.m. they were back up and running and fully operational. And so you're right. It's not just about getting the data back or, you know, being able to get the money back, whatever it may be. It's not about just getting that back. It's about getting productivity back up and running. And that's a huge part of it.
It is. And it's very interesting how my thought process has shifted in the way I offer products now, and you know, in the way I offer my packages and the way I speak to clients now. It has shifted. I used to be very, Paco and I've gone around and around. He's had to slap me in the head a bunch of times about this, but I was, you know, extremely, I guess price conscious may be the best word to say. Worrying about, but you said, you know, what you're offering your clients is really the, you know, if you know it's the best solution and the best thing for them, then you have to go in with the confidence that what you're spending on it is worth it. You know, what you're charging them is worth it. What you're giving them, you know, in return is worth it. So, you know, again, I've changed my mindset on what I'm offering, how I'm offering it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm approaching it with a lot more confidence because, again, is, you know, hopefully I never have to prove it, but you know, I've done a lot of prep to get ready for it.
Absolutely. and that brings back that confidence thing brings back an interesting point. I worked with Eric Simpson to go through his like kind of his MSP coaching and more based off of like pricing and services. And in that process, we ripped out our entire stack, rebuilt our entire stack. Well, when that was done, and we had a template basically to say, okay, how many employees do you have? How many locations do you have? This is the price. And so we did that, and I'm getting ready to go around to all of our customers and tell them, hey, we're moving you over to a new stack. Like the price is going to change. Telling myself like, hey, we're going to lose like 3/4 of our customers if I do this, but to my surprise, they appreciated it. And we ended up 95% of our existing clients signed on for our, at some points we really needed to true up their contract anyways. But at some point it was twice as much as they had been paying. But I went in with the confidence to say, okay, hey, these are the tools and this is the services that we are genuinely offering to you that you need, to have that security posture. And most of them signed it. And so that was to a surprise to me. But I've realized, going in with that confidence, and you get what you pay for. If you buy the cheapest tools on the market, then
right.
I don't know what to tell you. But going in and knowing that you have a solid solution, then your client will actually appreciate that. That's at least what I'm learning.
Exactly. And it's interesting. Like you said, getting the cheapest tool on the market. One of the things I've learned now, Paco, and I'm going to give Paco credit. I'm going to continue to give him credit for grooming me and giving me some lessons that I've heard now, and they click. When you go to looking for a product for, any tool you're using, any product you're using for a client, the price should be the last thing you look at. The first thing you got to decide, does this product, whatever it is, does it fit and does it meet what I'm trying to do for my clients, right?
Yeah.
If it meets and does what it tries to do, what you want, what you need done for your clients is going to put them in the best position, is going to put you in the best position.
Yeah.
Then price becomes an issue after that. And 9 times out of 10, it really is not that important in the end. So that has been a big paradigm shift. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been a big paradigm shift for me. And, I've gone in now and said, hey, this is where we were. This is where you need to be.
Oh, yeah.
So this is where we are. And, this is what it's going to cost. Here's why. And it's like you said, I was thinking, hey, and I've said, hey, I'm prepared to lose a lot of people. And I haven't had anyone say no. I've had some grumbles, but hey, it's been like, it's been, I don't like it, but I trust you. So, I'm going to go with it and roll with it. So it's been a good thing. And I can't, it's funny. It's like, I'm older than he is, but he's my mentor at certain things. We all have that strength. He'll call me up. We'll talk servers, because that's what my strong suit is. But when it comes to this part, like I always say, I'm a great tech, but a lousy businessman. So I'm learning now to be a better businessman. So it's coming along though. But it's definitely a interesting thing when you think about, the fear that, we have. And I think some of our clients still don't get it. You know what I mean? Like you can tell them till they're blue in the face. Some of them still don't get it. But, I go to bed at night and I think about it. I wake up. I don't go to bed saying, oh, tomorrow's going to be the day. Tomorrow's going to be the day. But, I think about it all the time, how we're going to respond, what's going to happen. But I'm not, like I say, I'll knock wood, say it hasn't happened. And I'll do this and say it won't happen.
It's, the landscape's changing. And I always tell clients like, hey, if I was to come in here and tell you that doing business with me, you would never be breached. Like, that's the biggest red flag that I could say, like, get rid of me immediately, So I do try to explain as often as possible, like, hey, we're giving it 110% here. Our stack is ever changing, but we're giving it 110%, but you can still get breached. There's, that I can't guarantee that you're not. And, it's it was scary for the first 2 years. I would lose sleep a lot. And I would go to sleep saying, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's probably going to be the day. Like, I'll bite the bullet tomorrow when I wake up. It's going to be the day. But I've gotten more and more confident in what we're doing and the way that we're handling cybersecurity. And, I don't think about that side of it very much anymore. I do know that if something happens that we'll know how to respond, and we've got proper policies and procedures in place to make sure those things don't take place. So.
Right. And the other thing I think about, and one of the big changes I've made is to be able to sleep at night. You can tell a client what they should do. The ones who choose not to, it's on you. That we've talked about this now a lot too. It's on you now to not partner with that client if they're not going to go, and follow your recommendations, because in the end, it's like you say, you can like the guy and they can like you and think you're the greatest guy in the world, but their lawyer doesn't know you. The insurance company don't know you. So when something goes wrong, hey, yeah, he might be a great guy, but he was negligent, or we can sue him.
Yeah.
So, the choice I've had to make is, if you can't meet the minimums, then I'll still like you. I'll still be friends with you, but I can't service your network anymore.
That's right. And we had it as a strong policy from the get-go. If we don't a la carte our security stack over at Cascade, you don't want 2FA, too bad. You got to have it. Is it annoying? Sure, it's annoying. You know what else is annoying? Somebody logs into your computer and, steals all your data and, this, that, or the other. But so we don't a la carte that. And I never had a problem saying, hey, you're not a good fit for us. We got to a point where we pick and choose our clients. And if the stack that we've built isn't sufficient, like, we can't just cut things out of it. If it's too expensive for you, I'm sorry. It is what it is. You're a liability at that point. And so we had the forms that you can fill out if you want to decline our services, that say that, 6 months from now when you get breached, you're not going to say, well, they didn't tell. I made it very clear to you that you don't have a good security posture. We had a customer leave. I tell the story all the time. We had a customer leave and say, hey, we don't need cybersecurity. And we there's no reason for us to pay this amount of money a month. And 6 months later, they were a victim of a phishing attack and lost $150,000. Granted, we onboarded them back on as a customer, and we recouped most of that. But the bottom line is everyone at this point is a target. Doesn't care. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Mm-hmm. And everyone has to have a security posture. I meet people all the time that don't have any kind of security. They don't even have a firewall. And I'm like, man, this is a absolute ticking time bomb.
Exactly.
It's a ticking time bomb.
You might as well put a sign outside that said, breach me, I'm free, I'm open. I've run into that a lot. And then, I've run into it, and I've had the conversation with people. It gets easier to say, hey, okay, well, good luck, and keep on moving if they don't want to go your way. But I go back to the whole tech side, business side.
Yeah.
The tech in me would try to find 100 different ways around it to suit the customer.
Yeah. Right.
But now the businessman in me is saying, I got something to protect myself.
Absolutely.
So I cannot compromise, for your choices, basically. Yeah. I'm not, I'm telling you what is best. If you were my attorney and you came to me and told me this is how we have to do certain things, I'm not going to sit up around. I didn't go to law school. I can't tell you, hey, we'll just get around the law this way. Or the judge won't say this, so he won't say that. So don't worry about it. So, and that's the attitude we have to take the same way. But it's a challenge out here. But, I've worked hard, like you said, putting together a stack. I'm always looking to make sure we're doing the right thing, to make sure that we're covering everything we need to cover. I'll tell you one of the funniest things, which is probably one of the cheapest products to sell in, or options to sell in, but has been the hardest for me, has been, training. I can't get my customers to buy into training. And I'm like, hey, do you realize, again, like a phishing attack, 90, well, I think it was somewhere around, I read there was like 97 to 94%, 94 to 97% of all breaches somewhere along the line has a human involved, right? Somewhere along the line, a human being clicked the button, follow the link, allowed a remote session or something that caused a breach. And I try to reiterate to my clients, and they're like, and this is, cybersecurity training is not expensive. It's just a little bit of time, because it's just a little time consuming. And clients say, well, when am I going to have them do this? And they're not going to do it. Well, it's your responsibility to make them do it. What are you going to say if you tell, I could tell, because I tell people, I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, don't do certain things. Yeah. But if you do it anyway, there's not really much, there's not much I can do. But you're going to hold me responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what else is expensive and is also very time consuming? When you do get breached.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you just wish that everybody in the company would have taken a couple of days out of their, collectively a couple of days to go through some training. We do some phishing simulations with our clients, and we send out some phishing emails, and we'll see who clicked on them and who opened them, and even so who followed the link inside the mail, and we get a chance to schedule them for some training on that. But yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. I guess it was last Wednesday, Thursday, put out one and somebody clicked it, and she, it immediately tells you, like, it immediately tells you did the wrong thing. So she calls. I did that thing, and that the email thing came up. I didn't know, and it says that I could have caused a breach. Does the doctor know? Is she gonna find out? And I was like, yeah, she gets the report. But I said, I'm like, this is what it's for. So now this is exactly why we do it. But I just thought it was funny because her concern was, is the doctor gonna know that she failed the phishing test?
It's crazy. We can't trust. We can't just put all the trust that we have in our end users. We have to have another line of defense. And
exactly.
Sure, end user awareness training is key, but at some point we're going to have to adapt to how do we take that much control out of the end user's hands. And that's another conversation for another time, I'm sure. But
right.
At some point we a lot of the networks that we come into the first time, they're wide open. Everybody has access to everything. There's not proper segmentation. There's not proper security. Oh man, I could go on forever. It's,
people's personal pages, their personal Google, everything.
People's pictures of people's kids all on their, what I mean? They're using their personal computers for everything, or their work computers as if it's a personal computer.
Right, exactly.
And it's crazy.
Yes, it's nuts. But as we wind down a little bit, I do want to talk about some news, because I know everyone out there has been talking about this. Paco said that everyone he's talked to, there's been a big conversation. But I just want to have a brief, talk about the recent Kaseya by Dado. And we laugh about it. I know you and I we laughed about it a little bit before the show, but it's an interesting interesting thing, to say the least.
Man, every time you guys get me on this MSP Unplugged, we get onto a subject of one specific vendor. So I'm gonna watch what I say this time a little better.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble. And we're not here to promote or dispromote anybody.
Not at all. I'll be the first to say I do business with Kaseya. So that way, there's my disclaimer. I am actively doing business with, or Cascade is actively doing business with Kaseya. And for the most part, we are pleased with the services we have there. Now, with that, I would say, this is, as far as I can remember, this will definitely be this is a very historic acquisition in the MSP industry. Two very, very large players. One's been acquired by the other. And, I have some mixed feelings about about that. At this point, I think Kaseya has a whole lot of control.
Yes.
Over the entire market. But with that, I think this is an opportunity for other vendors to step up to the plate and put some real competition on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, maybe they'll get acquired by Kaseya. I'm joking. But yeah, no, it's crazy.
Kaseya probably will buy him. No, but I mean, I think you bring up a good point, though. I mean, one, when I heard it, first thing that stood out to me was the money. I was like, oh my God. And it was all cash. So I'm like, what the hell? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
a lot
wait
of
a
money.
minute. Is Dado worth that much? But I mean, no disrespect, but I'm like, that's a huge number, and as an MSP, as an independent MSP, one of the things I am concerned about, but I know things just evolve. I am concerned about the shrinking of the community, or the shrinking of the, the options we're having.
Oh yeah.
I know in the statement, Kaseya said that Dado's going to continue to run as an independent company and things won't change, but I don't know how long that will be, first and foremost. So I do have a real concern about it seems like choices are being taken away from us. Now, full disclosure, I don't use either product. Mm-hmm. So, in truthful, at this point, it doesn't affect me from a business perspective. But as someone in the industry, watching the industry, this consolidation really concerns me, because we've seen a lot of companies, that some I have been using have gotten swallowed up. We've seen a lot of products that we were using go away or go to shit. Excuse my language, but so that concerns me. Now, this is not necessarily saying that's what will happen here, but from just an MSP perspective, the consolidation concerns me. The rapid consolidation. Now, from the other side of it, you bring up a very good point. It makes it puts these other companies in a position to step up, to tighten up their product, to tighten up their game. I don't want to say the pool is smaller now, but you have an opportunity to step up. So that that's another way to look at this.
Yeah.
But it's just wow. I'm looking at the numbers are so high. You get a nosebleed. I'm like, wow.
And it was it was acquired. I don't know the exact math, but like something like 56% above. I think the shares were trading at like 23 and some change, and that broke down to like 35 and some change per share. So it's like it was way above market cap for Dado to begin with. I remember waking up. I guess that was Monday, yesterday when I woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it was a week ago at this point, but I woke up and saw Kaseya had acquired Dado. I'm like, is this a joke? Like, did we really let this happen?
It's hilarious. I got up and I saw it. I sent Paco a message. I forgot he was on the plane on his way to Vegas. So he lands. He goes, damn, on the plane for 3 hours and everything goes to shit. But it's hilarious. It's a big deal though. And, I hope that, for all those users, like yourself included, who are using both products, I hope things, stay the same or get better for them. But wow, it does scare me, and I have no crystal ball, but the writing's on the wall. This is not going to be the end of it. We're going to see a lot more of these smaller vendors getting swallowed up, and I just don't want it to be to the point where you only have 2 or 3 choices. It's
getting close.
That part scares me. Yeah. That part scares me.
Yeah. Speaking of smaller vendors, man, I will let me ask you this. So we had almost gone with Autotask for our PSA and everything, but ended up not going that route. Now, have you heard of SuperOps? SuperOps.ai.
I've heard the name. I don't know. I can't tell you I know anything about them, but I've heard the name. I'm trying to remember where. Somebody Maybe it was you who mentioned. Somebody mentioned it, and we're having a conversation with a group of people, and somebody mentioned it.
Yeah, Paco, if you're listening to this or you listen back, we still need to have our chat about that. But so we rolled Super Ops out across the board probably 2 weeks ago. Trialed it for about a month. Absolutely loved it. The roadmap looks incredible. Certainly not here to promote them, but we've been very pleased with it and the integrations that it has. Especially with the Cronus. It's the integration with a Cronus from an RMM platform is unlike anything I've ever seen. So I've been pretty pleased with it. It's kind of like an all-in-one PSA RMM. It's doing a lot of things. You can even go as far as like doing invoicing and stuff, I believe. So yeah, we of course there's some features that are lacking, but when we questioned those, we were shown the roadmap, and it looks like everything we're really looking for it to do is in the next couple of quarters is going to be rolled out. So we took a leap with it. Staff there have been extremely supportive, working with us to get it deployed, and it's been a good pick. But that's what I mean. This is going to give a lot of platforms like this another opportunity to really, really shine. While you and I may not have any specific way that we feel about Kaseya, a lot of people in the community, this caught them completely off surprise. Especially Datto customers that said, "Hey,
right.
we were doing business with Datto. We didn't intend to do business with Kaseya." And I think we're going to see a big shift in a lot of things. For the better or for the worse. I don't. That part's not my decision, but I think there's a lot of change on the horizon, and like I've been saying, this is a chance for some of these smaller guys to really come out, and they've got their chance. So I'm wishing all of them the best.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, most of them are like us, startups, growing their business, trying to getting to a point, growing trying to grow in a competitive market. So yeah, you bring a good product, or you're going to attract the right people, and so. I have a question for you, and then we'll wrap up from here. And you don't have to. I don't want you to name who you were with before you switched, but was it a matter of you needed to switch, or was it and I'm asking that question for this reason. I have been with the same. I use Synchro, right? Now I'll just put it out there, right? Now I don't have Synchro. Does for what I need. I think it does a great job. There are certain things I get tied up on. It makes me want to bang the table. They need to fix this, or I wish they would do this. I wish they would do that. But for the most part, it has worked for me. Yeah. Now, the other part of that statement, and the reason I asked that question is, I have been using Synchro for so long. I am so tied into it. It would be a massive change to pull everything from Synchro to go somewhere else, right? So that is one of those things that kind of puts that anchor around my ankle, I guess you say. But and again, I'm not saying there's anything, because I don't have any. They've not done anything to make me say I got to get out of here. But I was just curious.
So.
And you don't name where you were.
Me and Paco got onto this in October, when on the last time I was on MSP Unplugged. But
okay.
I won't necessarily state where we were at. I wasn't like terribly displeased with our last solution. We had just we needed some more features than what we had, just to make life some more integration, more there was a lot more things but at the same time, RMM platforms, I come from level platforms, managed workplace is what it is now. It was first with level platforms, then it went to AVG, then it went to Avast, then it went to Barracuda. It's getting passed around the market, but the platform itself was so feature rich, and it had so much capabilities. And I had been on that platform almost my entire career. In fact, my entire career in IT, I've worked on managed workplace, which was level platform. So I was kind of spoiled off the jump when it came to RMM platforms and the functionality and the ability of them. And when we started switching, and I've switched around a couple of times at this point, I just found that each of these RMM tools had a large number of really rich features that we needed or, we wanted, but they just lacked little things. And, after talking with the people over at Super Ops and looking at the roadmap, I was confident that they were going to, hopefully check all the boxes. And if not, I'll report back as I always do. No, we, I've spent a lot of time on Synchro. It is a great platform for a lot of MSPs. They're buzzing in the channels. Yeah, Super Ops is where we're at now. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, that's good. I mean, in the end, like we always say, it's just a tool. So it's how you use it. That's what's most important. So
yeah. I do like doing a lot of automation through our RMM tools. And there's a lot. An RMM tool is not a light tool.
Right.
It's a powerhouse, and some people are doing it better than others. But if they keep doing it well, they'll get acquired by Kaseya.
I guess that's everybody's goal these days. and that 35% over market value, right?
Yeah. I saw those numbers and I'm thinking, hey, if you guys are looking to buy an MSP, like I
got one. I know one.
I know one that 35% over market value, it's yours.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We'd all love those numbers.
That's great. That's great.
Well, coming up on 45 minutes, so I guess we'll give the little wrap up here, and maybe I can close this a lot better than I opened it. But Kramer, it was good. I appreciate you stepping in for us and helping me out with this. I'm still used to sitting on the right side of the screen and letting Paco take the reins, and this is not my thing. So I'm the talker and not really the organized one. So
Well, yeah, you did great. It was a great conversation. It's always nice catching up with you and Paco, and everybody obviously listening. Looking forward to TechCon. I plan on being there. That's like my one trip to Chicago every year. That's what I'm determined. I was there last year. I'll be this year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to connecting with everybody, getting a chance to see everybody in person, and having some really good, insightful conversations with everyone.
Right, and that's what it's all about. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm like I've said this last week, but as we get closer and as things start to pan out, I'm getting more and more excited about it, looking forward to it. And so I'm just gonna close with inviting everyone again. We first and foremost are looking for your input. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions that you think we could use to help the show go along better, please send them to us, info@mspunplugged.com. Again, TechCon is going to be September 16th to the 18th. It's at the Hilton Hotel, right around the corner from where we were last year. We're looking for an exciting time. Tickets are on sale at they're $299 right now. The early bird special ended last week, but pick up your tickets at mspunplugged.com. We look forward to seeing you all there. I want to thank Kramer again, and thanks for being here. Thank everyone for tuning in and everyone for listening. The show will be available on most of you are probably catching this now on your podcast the following week. You can catch us on Apple Music and the rest of those podcatchers. I don't know what they all are. That's Paco's job, so I'm going to leave that all alone. But we're available, and I thank everyone for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged.